Stop and Give Me 25. We are doing basic chair squats. So whether you're an experienced squatter or you're new to squatting, I think everyone by now understands that squatting is one of the fundamental exercises. It's a fundamental movement pattern. So it's a foundational exercise to master. There's variations of the squat and how we scale that up to make it harder or easier. Everyone can scale a chair squat by switching up the elevation. So whether you're using a bench, a stool, a coffee table, the higher the elevation, the easier, the lower the elevation, the harder, okay? So let's just assume you're using a regular chair. If you have one with a, wheels, because it's an office chair, just make sure it's propped back against a wall or a chest of cabinet or something so it doesn't move, of course. So safety first, and then I'll go through this setup. I'll explain why it includes the hinge, and then I'll show you some common mistakes to really avoid. We really want to get the basics down so we can move on and start incorporating other movements or variations of the squat. So I'm going to show you mostly from the side. In this version, we're going to stand fairly close to front of the edge of that chair. We're going to be wider than shoulder width apart. Our feet are going to angle out about 10 degrees, okay? Your knees should go with the feet, okay? So in this position, or in any position, you would have your knee tracking in line over your middle toe, your middle and big toe. Your feet should feel like they're evenly placed on the ground as far as your weight distribution. You're standing tall. You have a slight posterior tuck so that you have a slight engagement in the glutes, slight engagement in the abs. And we're going to take a seat, of course. We are actually going to sit down. So what does that mean? That means our hips will shoot back, right, first. And that's where we have a micro hinge, okay, or the beginning of a hinge. And then you would shoot the hips straight down in that angle to hit the chair. So notice when I land, I'm slightly angled. I don't end up landing like this. The angle of my spine will mimic the angle of my knee and my feet, right? So I hope you could see that. Coming up is super important. So we want to think about sending our weight now into the heel into the ground, keeping that knee to toe alignment as we shoot straight up. That means we're going to power through the heel all the way traveling to the backside, engaging the glutes. The core is still tight to come up. And we want to think about shooting straight up in this same angle while keeping head to tailbone as one unit, okay? One unit. Come up all the way. Now, your knees don't necessarily lock out like this, okay? But you straighten your legs, you tighten the glutes, okay? You don't have to thrust forward, just squeeze the glutes together, okay? That would be one complete rep. I'll show you again, real time. Sit down and onto that chair, push through the heel, come up and squeeze. Exhale as you come up, okay? So you want to feel that as you're coming up, especially, that you have the load over your heel, but that the rest of your feet are pretty much staying on the ground, okay? So what we don't want is any exaggeration of the spine here. One unit, remember, okay? So what we don't want is, as we're coming up, we don't want to jut forward first, then bring the hip up, and then shoot up, okay? I know that's exaggerated, but it's pretty common for people to want to do that. They get a little bit of a momentum going like this, okay? I don't know if you saw that, okay? Look, okay? That's not what we want. We want to go sit back, same angle, coming up, okay? Same angle. This is one unit. If you feel like you're shifting two back, okay, like your toes are lifting off and you're gonna shoot back, okay? Just ground yourself with the feet again. All right, the micro hinge is this part, all right? Because if we didn't have this chair and you tell people to execute a squat and they haven't learned this, then it's very common for them to shoot the knees forward, okay? Now, as far as strength, if you find the strength requirements, whether you need to elevate or not, if you find that at the bottom here, as you're coming up, the knees can't stay over the toes and they want to cave in like this, okay? We want to probably elevate unless you really think you have the strength and it's just a matter of mind engagement, mind-body engagement, okay? That knee coming forward is, you know, one of the compensations we try to do when we don't have the strength. So of course, if you go lower, okay, for people who already know how to squat and just want to do this as more of a, you know, exercise, quick challenge, just find a lower elevation, okay? Same thing, okay? Here, 1 unit. All right, that's the basic chair squat, 25, give it a go.